This Sunday is the fourth Sunday of Lent. It is called Laetare Sunday. The Latin word for rejoice is laetare. We pause on this penitential journey of Lent to recall that we can rejoice since Jesus has come to be our Savior. He has won the victory over sin and death. We have been redeemed. Our gospel passage is about a man born blind. We get an interesting glimpse into the culture at the time about the cause of illness. The passage is taken from John's Gospel, chapter 9. Let's take a listen. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva and smeared the clay on his eyes and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is." But others said, "No, he just looks like him." He said, "I am." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on a Sabbath. So then the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I can see." So some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What have you to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and are you trying to teach us?" Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and the one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord," and he worshipped him. During Jesus' time, it was the belief that if someone was ill or had a condition like blindness, or if they were deaf or mute, then either that person had sinned or his or her parents had sinned. Illness or disability was seen as a kind of punishment. The question is asked of Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Then Jesus makes that paste of the dirt and saliva and smears it on the man's eyes. He goes off to wash in the pool and comes back able to see. Later in the passage, it's a different line from the same gospel. There is a very telling phrase, a line about this cultural belief. It says, "We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if one is devout and does his will, he listens to him." While reading, this might surprise us, even shock us. If we take a moment to reflect, however, we might realize that sometimes we can think in that way. We say something to ourselves like this: "I'll be really good, and then God will see that I'm really good, and then God will listen to me when I ask for this special favor." The reality is that God responds to all of us when we humble ourselves, acknowledge our sinfulness, and ask for what we need. In the gospel passage, Jesus says, "I came into this world for judgment, so that those who do not see might see, and those who do see might become blind." We're all spiritually blind to some degree, and we need Jesus' healing hand to restore our sight. As for those who are ill, those who suffer from a particular condition, like the man born blind, they have some particular role to fulfill in the life of their families and communities. We might not know exactly what that is. It could be that the blind man can help us to recognize a kind of interior vision, one who sees without judging the externals. It's worth our reflection, God's relationship to those who are sick, ill, infirm, suffering from one condition or another. It might be me or someone in my family, someone I know. The question hits close to home so often. It is worth our time to reflect on the remedy, the one who saves, Jesus Christ, our reason to rejoice. Let the gospel fill your week. See you in church. For now, God bless.